The number one podcast in the world for growing your insurance business.
I'ma do whatever it takes, getting it done, any means, get rid of these snakes. Now I'm up in my stakes, going all in like Steph, get rid of these breaks. Now I ain't never gonna break, double my pace till I go down one of the greats. One of the greats, whatever it takes, whatever it takes.
Can't believe I'm doing this.
Having fun, so that's all.
We like the life. All right, everybody, welcome back into another episode of the Seven Figures or Bust podcast, the number one podcast in the world for growing your insurance business. This is episode 159. I'm Christian Brindle, joined as always with Glenn Shelton. Episode 159, could Med Supp save your AE and the P? And very patriotic for green.
Thank you, sir.
For green on this.
Yes. Yes. I'm doing well. Your audio just cut out on you there. There's a story that we have to get into. There's a couple things. One is yesterday's episode. If you guys somehow missed it, go back right now and listen to it, watch it. Don't even watch this episode if you missed yesterday's episode. I want to preface, that's how important yesterday's episode was. There were people in the comments who didn't watch. The irony of yesterday's episode was so crazy to me. There are people who they didn't listen or watch the episode. They're putting comments on it about things that we explicitly discussed. That was just misinformation, disinformation, just triggered about certain words. So please listen. Please watch yesterday's episode. That's the first thing I wanted to mention. Second thing is our inner circle call yesterday. A story came up that if you had told me before, I forgot. I did not remember this story. And you said to me that we'll get into it on the pod. So here we are. We're on the pod. I need to hear this story right now.
So, worked with a lot of agents in my time, in a lot of different capacities. And one time, years ago now, it's probably 5 years ago at this point, had an agent I was working with very closely. You know, lots of one-on-one consultation, things like that. We had a much smaller group of agents at the time. And, you know, I had this agent that just felt very easily pressured to do anything that the member asked her to do in order to get the sale. Like, didn't have boundaries. It was like life or death to get every app, which on the surface I love. You know, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, get the business, get the business,
Sure.
get the business. But what it was the app would get sold. And then after the fact, the client would call them with all these weird requests and she would oblige. Requests that had on the surface, not even on the surface, all around, the whole iceberg had nothing to do with her insurance policy. I seem to recall her driving clients to the doctor, to the pharmacy, to take them grocery shopping, things like that. Like they were a Papa Pal. For those of you that don't know, it's a benefit on some Medicare Advantage plans. But the craziest thing was, you know, she calls me with a question on her client's plan on a Saturday one time. Pick up the phone. She's like, hey, I'm with so-and-so. And I knew this client because I helped her sell the policy. She pulled me in on the call, answered some questions, things like that. So I recognized the client's name. She's like, hey, I'm with so-and-so. And they had this question on the plan, and I wasn't sure. I wanted to check with you. I was like, yeah. I'm like, the answer is whatever. I'm like, you're with the client? I'm like, what's going on? You know? And she's like, yeah, I've been here all day. I've been here about 5 or 6 hours. And she asked me to come over and help her paint the side of her house. So I've been here doing that. And I'm like, you're helping her paint her house on a Saturday for 5 hours?
But you know how much you get paid for a Medicare policy?
Not that much. Not
You
that
probably
much.
make more money charging for the painting.
Yeah. Driving for Uber.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I think I suppressed that memory a little bit. I don't know why I had never told
That's
you that story, because it's one
crazy.
of the better ones. It's one of the better ones. And I told her, and I gave her the speech. I'm like, your time is not worth, that's not worth your time. If that's what stands between the client leaving you or staying with you, let them leave.
Right.
Like,
Right.
this is crazy. But I don't think she ever got that message. She's not an agent with us anymore. I don't even think she's an agent at all
Probably
anymore.
not, based on this story. Yeah, based on the story, if I had to guess, probably not in the industry anymore. This is a tough spot, and just a quick discussion on this topic, because I've seen this come up in the group a few times where like a client calls up and says, I don't have a way to get to the pharmacy. Can you come pick me up? Like, if it's an emergency and you just want to be a good human and go help one of your clients, by all means, I'm not going to say don't do it, right? But if you start to set this standard where your clients think they can call you up to help them run errands or do tasks like painting the side of their house, that's bonkers to me. It's not a charity, you guys. Like, we are not running a charity. This is a for-profit business at the end of the day. Like, if you're an agent, I'm assuming you're here to make money, just like we're here to make money. Obviously, you want to help your seniors, your beneficiaries, as much as humanly possible. But yeah, that's wild. That's wild.
Yeah. One of the crazier stories that I have in terms of dealing with agents, and I have many, many stories, most of which
Yeah.
you've heard. But that's a rare one that kind of slips between the
Yeah.
cracks, if you will. It's like a married couple. We've heard all each other's stories, honey. You've told
I
me
know.
that
That
story,
is what it
honey.
feels like. Well, it's just like, I remember being, and I've told this story before, like, this really big agent I used to work with quite a bit, and he would be fielding like just friendly customer service calls like on Saturday mornings. I remember saying that, thinking like, wow. And it wasn't like it was an emergency or they had an issue. It was just kind of like, hey, like wanting to chat, right, with their client. And like, to me, that's even crossing a certain line. Like, at some point you need to have your own personal time, like your own family time, right? Like, I'm with this agent, we're trying to do something. They were just spending their weekend chatting with a client, having friendly time. And to take that a step further and to be like running errands or tasks. We also talked yesterday on our inner circle call about some of these seminars, right? This is another example that kind of falls in the same line. And
Yes.
I'm sure many of you have stories like this too, where if you're doing a dinner seminar or a breakfast seminar or a lunch seminar, and I'm hearing stories of seniors who are like, hey, I want to get a to-go order, put it on the agent's tab. I'm
Yeah, that
getting
happens.
drinks.
That
Yeah,
happens.
I'm getting drinks. I'm like, wow. You give them an inch, they take a mile.
And sometimes a client will take an unhealthy, unnatural interest in you. I've
Stalker.
I've told the story. I don't know if I've told it on the show. I've told the story to you, certainly, where one of my clients who was turning 65 at the time. I was 21, 22, so I was young meat, right? And he formed a very
Oh no, I think you did tell this one
infatuation
before,
with me.
yeah.
So like, he would always want to go to lunch and get together. Every time I'd see him, he'd pull me in close for a tight physical hug. He stops
Yeah.
by the office from time to time. One time, my dad was here at the office, and like I said, I was like 22. I'm out in the field. I'm not here. It's not like on Friday. All the lights are off in the office. Then my dad's the only one here. Stops by, knocks on the door. My dad comes up, and he's like, oh. Then they start talking. My dad's like, can I help you? Da da da. Oh, you're Christian's client. Da 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 da. I'm his dad. And the client's like, he's like, oh, you're Christian's dad? you have a great son. Like, just like that, like eyes wide and like,
Your
and my
son.
and my dad's like, whoa, like he's like, who is this guy? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. I think that
So-
story came up on our crazy client interactions
Yes,
podcast. I
I
feel
think
like
it
that
did.
came up. That's terrifying. Before we get into the main topic today, anything else you want to mention about yesterday's topic? I kind of just quickly mentioned you guys need to go back and listen to or watch episode 158 about non-commissionable plans scaring agents and what you need to know. Anything you want to circle back on with that episode, or any fallout you've seen?
Certainly fallout. You referenced agents that are commenting on the stream without watching even a second of it. Is clear,
Yes.
and just spewing like, all plans non-commissionable. Here we go. And
they're cutting commissions. They're cutting them.
yeah.
What do you think about that? You got like
what
throwing
you got
zingers.
to say about that? And
commissions are cut. Oh,
I've made several comments over the last couple of days, several on the show yesterday, and several in posts in the group where I said there will be careers this AEP that end.
Yes.
The people
Dark
are
Christian.
stepping forward.
Dark Christian.
The people are
Next Luther. right?
Yeah.
Your career is over.
the peoples whose careers will end in the next 4 months are stepping forward and making themselves known to all of you. Because that's classic, no reading comprehension, no ability to comprehend what's going on, and that will end their careers. And I'm here for it. I love to see it because I said yesterday, the herd thinning has begun. Let it take place. Let it commence. Thin that herd. For all of you that can't understand what's going on, don't want to understand what's going on, there's the door. Goodbye. Goodbye.
I don't know if you saw any of the videos, kind of viral videos happening. I think that came from TikTok, but the rapture was supposedly happening this week. Did you see anything about that?
No.
Yeah. There was this one video I saw where legitimately this lady was leaving notes in her house for whoever she thought would take over her house after she got raptured this week. It was supposed to happen on Tuesday. So if you're still here with us right now, you're listening, watching, you did not get raptured, just like Christian and I did not get raptured this week. It seems like there's some of this same level of just insanity. We're at a peak of nonsense in the industry, and it kind of feels like it's all over the place right now.
It's funny. I gotta say,
yeah, it is.
It's very funny. Like, it's very much like, and it's positioned always in like a gotcha moment, like plans not paying. All plans not pay. Like, it's so inflammatory, like all plans. Somebody commented to me yesterday, and they were like, they tagged me and said Christian Brindle is full of hot air. All plans in Florida for this carrier are not paying. So I wasted like 5 minutes of my day to pull up the list for the carrier, and sure enough, yeah, it's not all plans. I knew that off the top of my head, but I'm like, and it was, that's the kind of stuff we're seeing. It's in that market in particular, it's mostly PPOs. All the HMOs are still paying. HMOs are the better product in that market anyway, for this carrier. And, but no, it's like Christian Brindle full of hot air trying to spew propaganda. Like, it's a big conspiracy. Like, I'm working for the carriers. I am being manipulated by the carriers, by the deep state,
Oh.
by the powers that be, and
They've gotten to him. They've gotten to him. He's telling their stories now. They're putting chemicals in the air to make agents think that there's commissions attached to these plans, but there's not. The commissions have all been cut. There's no more money in Medicare.
There was a post yesterday specifically where, and this is always kind of the mind-blowing thing. I don't want to spend too much more time on this topic because I know we got a lot more to talk about, but the other part of this that's crazy to me is the agents who admit that they haven't put any time or energy into it, into what's going on, into reading or learning about what's going on with the non-commissionable or the plan cutting, but they just buy into their feelings. And it really goes back to that victim mindset episode that we just did, which I think is very timely, honestly. But they buy into the feeling that they're having inside. You know, and this post yesterday specifically from an agent said, another email about non-commissionable plans, ... The house of cards really feels like it's coming down. I haven't had a chance to read the entire email yet. That was like the whole post. That was literally like the whole post. And that post was like almost immediately after our stream. And I'm just like, man, I don't know if we're going to get through to these agents. Like, I just don't know if we'll get them to hear.
The herd will thin. Careers will die. And and it's okay. These people don't belong in this business anyway. They just don't. They don't. They just don't.
I laugh because it's a coping mechanism, you guys. It's legitimately sad. I'm internally sad for those of you who are refusing to really just take the time to understand what's really going on.
Yeah. Let's get into sponsorship of this episode because I want to make sure we have plenty of time to talk about the main topic at hand because I think it's extremely timely and relevant to what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Is it possible for us to do 2 sponsors? Like to do like a co-sponsor?
I think there's absolutely time and room for multiple sponsors.
So first off, right, guys, episode 159 is brought to you by Hire Heroes, the #1 virtual assistant platform for insurance agents on the market. Are you tired of working with overpriced services that all they do is just place you with a virtual assistant and then they're completely hands off? They do not take any responsibility. They don't vet the people. They don't know them from a hole in the wall. You could do that yourself online. Hire Heroes makes sure that you're matched with a person that has the skill sets that you're looking for and somebody that we've been working with for years. We know them well. And you're very well protected through the Hire Heroes platform. You get access to our app, our screen sharing technology, all the infrastructure to help you work with your virtual assistant to prove success. We actually have a webinar going on later today that you guys don't want to miss out on. And what time is that webinar again?
That webinar is at 11 Pacific Standard, 2 p.m. Eastern. And I will make sure the link to register for that webinar is in the comments below this video.
Yes. Now, our co-sponsor of episode 159, I wanted to mention. So you might have seen my post earlier. My newest book, 7-Figure Insurance Agency, a blueprint for how the best agencies dominate, is available now. And it is currently, we have not pushed it a ton because we've been busy. Frankly, we've had a lot going on. It's currently number 20 ranked on Insurance Business Books on Amazon. There's no reason why it shouldn't be number 1. And we need your guys' help to make that possible. So please be sure to go over to Amazon, pick up a copy now. Hopefully one of our team members can throw a link for us in the stream comments where you can find it. But if you've already picked up a copy, because many of you have, please be sure to also go and leave a 5-star review. It helps more people find the book who frankly are lost. Maybe, just maybe, some of these careers that are going to die might not die if they buy this book and get some real guidance and some practical information on building a real massively successful agency. So make sure to go pick up the book now.
Boom. Link for 7-Figure Insurance Agency, a blueprint for how the best agencies dominate. Christian's brand new book. You can also find it in the comments below. Shout out to Mr. Lester and Randy.
Yes.
Here helping us out, getting the information to the people.
Yes. All right. So transitioning into the main topic at hand, right? Could Med Supp save your AEP? I thought the best place to start with this is kind of setting the table, not for dinner, but for the topic.
For breakfast. It's still morning.
Not for dinner, but for breakfast. Brunch for
Pop-Tarts?
some of you.
Mimosas, bottomless mimosas this morning.
Morning mimosa. So, we've talked a lot about Medicare Advantage and this AEP and kind of what you need to know. I don't feel like there's much more to say about that. And the vast majority of markets have a huge abundance of plans that are available that are going to be fantastic options. There's plenty of opportunity, a lot of SARs, a lot of plan cancellations, but in a couple of places, right? Connecticut comes to mind. Idaho comes to mind, a couple of different places. I would say 3 to 5 states.
Yeah.
I've been hit probably the hardest, where there is very little to no Medicare Advantage options. And even if you're not in one of those states and you have Medicare Advantage options, but if you don't feel like there's as much options as you'd like, whatever the case might be, Medicare Supplement could be your saving grace this AEP. It's almost like agents forget that this product line even exists. And
Absolutely.
not only does it exist, it is prominent. It is available everywhere, the same everywhere minus Minnesota and Wisconsin. And it's something that opportunity-wise should be at the forefront for a lot of you. So, and we also feel so strongly about this, we're actually deeming October as Medicare Supplement Awareness Month. You guys might have seen that there's sometimes endangered species, right? Whales come to mind, right? There's poachers going after the whales. Save the whales! And we feel like we feel like Medicare Supplement needs to be saved just like the whales. And this AEP could be a big step in terms of, for those of you that feel like they don't have a lot of options, leaning into the Medicare Supplement products and becoming a Medicare Supplement aficionado for your clients.
Let's take this a step back. So, like, even in the heyday of Medicare Advantage, 2-3 years ago, 4 years ago, before non-commissionable plans, right? Before the type of chaos that we're seeing now, and that we saw some last year, and we'll probably see next year too. It was always a good idea, and I've always been a fan of and recommended having diversification in your book of business. I would never tell someone that you should be 100% Med Supp or you should be 100% Medicare Advantage. I think even before any of this, now more than ever, though, that message is important. Is having that diversification is going to help. It's a safety guard. It's going to help protect your book.
Yes.
It's also, if you're not well versed in one or the other, and again, kind of the old guard, they refused to sell Medicare Advantage until they were basically being dragged kicking and screaming by their own book of business. And if they didn't start selling Medicare Advantage, they were going to start losing a lot of their own clients. So now I feel like we're almost seeing the opposite, the pendulum now swinging the other way, where some of you have been so reluctant to sell Medicare Supplement, or you've just been so used to staying in this Medicare Advantage realm, and now you have opportunity to kind of rebalance your book, right? And it's just going to help really everybody. I think it'll help the industry, it'll help the beneficiary, it'll help you and your revenue, and help your own diversification. So some areas, like Christian said, are going to be, it'll be even more important than others, right? So some markets didn't see much of a change this coming AEP for 2026. Others got annihilated, but the annihilation is really a much smaller number of markets than what most of you would think, based on, again, the comments that we've been seeing from you guys over the past several days of the whole world's ending. In a few states, it'll be a tough AEP for sure. But guess what? There's no non-commissionable Med Supp plans. Did you know that? Did you know?
I just
This episode of the Seven Figures or Bust podcast is brought to you by the Seven Figure University. SevenFigureUniversity.com is a culmination of Christian Brindle's and mine's educational videos that we have developed over the past 2 decades of combined experience in the senior insurance space. There's more than 250 videos, hundreds of hours of content that can help you become a top producer or a top producing agency in the senior insurance space. We're talking about videos of how to work with specific carriers, how to do different types of marketing, such as seminars or Facebook advertising, how to generate content in the niche to help grow your business, how to grow an agency, all sorts of things. There's so much value in this. It's unbelievable. Christian, what do agents need to know about Seven Figure University?
Seven Figure University can best be thought of as an agency blueprint in a box that's put together for you, that brings you step by step in every facet of building a successful seven-figure insurance agency, and lays it out all in front of you so you can follow along. Whether you guys need help with marketing, whether you guys need help with branding, whether you guys need help with hiring, training, standard operating procedures, systems and processes, automation, you name it, it's covered in this course. Not only that, you get access to my weekly training calls every Thursday that go from January through the end of September on a week-to-week basis. And you can attend those live and ask questions live. And then, of course, the recordings are put into the university afterward if you can't attend it and make the live training. So there's just so much value. It's the gift that keeps on giving, and it's a great investment into your business to kind of keep you up to date on what's going on, but also kind of point you in the right direction in various things that you're struggling with.
Some of the best training you'll be able to find, you guys, in one spot for one price. Go to sevenfigureuniversity.com and learn more.
Let's get back to the show.
And, you might see a post at one point where someone's like, Med Supp commission's gone.
Well, I told you there was that post. There was that post like a week ago, or within the last week. An agent said that one of the major carriers is getting rid of Med Supp. That's what that's what they tried to say. They're like,
I heard Med Supp's going away. No more Med Supp.
it's just so crazy.
Where? Somebody posted the other day and also sent me a private message. I still am kind of confused by it, saying that their FMO is not paying Med Supp overrides anymore, which I'm like,
Oh, I saw that.
first of all, Med Supp doesn't, for most carriers, don't really have overrides. You just have a higher commission level, and it comes from the carrier. So I'm like, what are you saying? What are you talking about? Like, and when I explained that, it was like the conversation ended. It was like, oh, okay. Which I'm like, you haven't answered my question.
That was my first thought when I saw that post. Is I'm like overrides. I'm like, what? I'm like, what are they talking about? I'm like again,
there's so much
confusion.
I would say 75% of everything that you guys are seeing, specifically in the groups, is someone that writes 5 apps a year freaking out. about something that's not real. No plans anywhere. It's like so
The house of
inflammatory.
cards
It's like
is tumbling.
it's like Antifa fake accounts or something. Insurance.
Well, there's again, and we've talked about this on the show before, but a lot of agents in this space are only really active during AEP, right? This is how it's been historically since I've ever been in the industry for the past decade. And it's always been confusing to me because when you see like how much opportunity there is year round in the Medicare space, I've never understood the agents who are like, I'm going to come in and bust my ass for 10 weeks and then I'm not going to look at, touch, or think about Medicare until next year. And
I've never understood that either. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, wouldn't you say there's probably 70, like there's a huge percentage of agents who fall into this category, wouldn't you say? Like 60%,
Yeah.
70%. I would say maybe even more than half of the industry.
Yeah.
Would you say that? Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. And it's definitely a conundrum to me. I mean, Med Supp, you guys, is something you can sell all year round. It's something that
Yes.
doesn't change. It's something that
Preach.
is really simple if you think about it, right? So the plans are standardized. You have the same plans across the board, minus Wisconsin and Minnesota. Don't sell in those markets if you're confused by what I'm saying. You have 48 other states where it's all the same. But in Med Supp, you don't have a million election periods or SEPs. You really have 3 reasons why somebody can enroll. It's really beautiful in the simplicity when you think about it. So,
Yes.
what are the 3 reasons you can enroll a Med Supp person? Well, you have open enrollment, which is new to Medicare or turning 65, one or the other. No health questions. Full commission is paid in every state. 2, you have underwritten. Go through some health questions, get underwritten, medically qualify. Full commissions paid in every state. Then the third one you have is guaranteed issue. 9 out of 10 agents, I am convinced, do not understand the difference between guaranteed issue business and open enrollment business. It is an uphill battle trying to explain this to agents far and wide. But guaranteed issue business is when somebody gets accepted with no health questions for some reason without being new to Medicare or turning 65. So they could be being dropped on a plan, on a group plan. Maybe a Medicare Advantage plan is doing a SAR and terminating everybody. Maybe you're in a birthday rule state and they're moving because of birthday rule. All of that is guaranteed issue. It's not applicable in every state, but in a lot of states, guaranteed issue business pays a lot less, right? You might have 90 to 95% of your commission cut for guaranteed issue business. So, but when you look at it from that perspective, you have 3 boxes that every single app you'll ever write for Med Supp will fit into, right? Yep. And Med Supp, traditionally has less service work. Plans don't change, premiums do. You can revisit them every single year. And, Medicare Supplement is, I don't know, man. I mean, it's a beautiful product. You can sell the aspect of open networks. You can go anywhere, right? I hope I'm preaching to the choir about this. You don't have to deal with prior authorization. Things are approved much easier. The plan benefits will never change, like I said before. It's a very simplistic type of plan. And there's still a lot of seniors out there that don't want Medicare Advantage and they want Med Supp. With all the propaganda out there about how evil Medicare Advantage is, I disagree with almost all of it. But if that's the direction you want to go, why not lean into that? Why not lean into that and become a Med Supp purist and demonize Medicare Advantage? It's actually pretty easy. I think I'd be a billionaire if I did that. So now, do I think you should be selling Med Supp and not Medicare Advantage if you have access to both? No, sell both for sure. But Med Supp should at the very least be a huge part of what you're selling.
This was the old guard, as we like to call it. And shout out to Nicole. She said a few months ago we were having a funeral for Med Supps, and now they are a beautiful product. That is the truth. But
pulled out of the grave. Pulled out of the grave.
We were talking about the death based on the trajectory of the product, but we are now trying to take a stand as a community to stop this funeral from happening.
Listen, I want to say something about that, right? The funeral is real. The endangered species aspect of it is real, but you guys can save the supps. That's what Med Supp Awareness Month is all about.
We can save the supps.
You can
together.
save the supps. Picture 25 poachers in little rafts chasing a whale. The whale is trying to get away. The whale is swimming. The boats are after him. They're like, get him, there goes the whale. Instead of a whale, picture a big F or G or N. Save the supps. They're going in danger. So the funeral is still on the table, but you guys can prevent it from happening. We don't need to be pallbearers. We don't need to dig the hole. We don't need to dump the carcass of Med Supp into the hole if we all work together to save the supps.
I think that even when things get really bad, even when Med Supp becomes a very endangered species, there will always be a niche for it, but it doesn't even have to get that bad to begin with. If we do all take a stand together and offer this product more often, here's where there's kind of a line, and we're going to get a lot more into this over the next month, you guys. I think one of the main reasons we've seen this huge decline over the years is because agents don't want to actually have to sell anything. Some of you are even opposed to the title being a salesperson. And yes, there's an actual premium attached to a Med Supp. And yes, you have to get banking info for a Med Supp. Whereas with a Medicare Advantage plan, you don't have to do those things. So in some ways, the sale might be a little bit harder than a Medicare Advantage plan. But there are so many benefits to both you as the agent and to the consumer, to the beneficiary. I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not spending more time offering Med Supp, especially this AEP with the chaos that's going on.
You guys want to avoid the funeral? Nobody wants to attend the funeral. I don't want this to happen. I don't want it. I don't want to put the F, the G, the N in the box. We can do something about this, guys.
We can.
Save the supps. Save
the supps.
The supps. Med Supp Awareness Month.
The old guard's presentation was essentially, hey, this is Medicare Advantage. It's horrific, and they would really slant their presentations, right? They would try to do like an A and B, right? And they'd be like, but it was very slanted. Christian mentioned demonization of Medicare Advantage. I mean, that's really what the presentations was. I remember specifically sitting in an agent's office one time while they were on the phone and listening to essentially their spiel. And it was really just like, yeah, Medicare Advantage, you don't want that. You don't want that. And then just getting into all of the negative points of Medicare Advantage, like, being limited to certain networks, not being able, you travel, might not be covered, et cetera, yada, yada, yada. So it's a practice that you can take moving forward. Obviously, with plans being terminated, right? If a senior is literally getting their plan terminated this AEP and they don't have a plan any longer, think how easy it would be to present a Medicare supplement in that conversation, right? Hey, are you bothered that your Medicare Advantage plan just got terminated and now you do not have a plan and you have to find you're scrambling, you got to go find a new plan? Would you rather have something that's going to be around and you don't have to worry about this ever happening? Check out Medicare Supplement. I mean, there's so many ways you can position a Med Supp in the market without even going full demon mode. Like, you don't have to be
You don't
that
have to
person.
you don't have to do like the T-chart and be like, and here's Medicare Supplement. It does this. Oh yeah, it's
Right.
guaranteed renewable. The plan will never change. It has no network. And here's Medicare Advantage, and it sucks. It's terrible. It won't pay for anything, and it came from Satan himself. You don't like Satan, do you, Mrs. Jones? I didn't think so. But you know, one thing I have used before in my own experience as an agent selling Med Supp, and one thing I've told the clients before, there's so many great ways you can position a Med Supp. Like, one thing I've told a client before is, multiple clients over the years when I've been selling Med Supp policies, is your Med Supp policy is like an asset. Once you have it, you can never lose it as long as you pay the premium. It's guaranteed renewable. So once you have it, it'll never go away. It's an asset that you can't have taken away from you.
Yep. Which, again, you might not health qualify for it down the road, right? Similar to a life insurance policy. So if you health qualify for it now and you get really sick down the road, hold on to it. There's a comment here I want to bring up because it's, I think, very timely to this whole conversation. Some Advantage PPO plans aren't necessarily going away. They're just going to be non-commissionable. Therefore, those customers won't qualify for a guaranteed issue period for a Med Supp, but nonetheless, I would have to come up with something else for those kinds of cases. The first thought I have reading this comment from Harris is that my understanding is that those are still, if it's an existing client, all of those renewals are still getting paid. And if that plan is still a great plan for the client, why are we talking about moving them anyways?
We're not. All the major carriers, those plans are still going to pay renewals. There might be some regional carriers where it's not the case. I'm not going to say with every carrier, but all the major carriers for sure, definitely the big three. So I think there's a bit of confusion on what we're actually talking about here. I commented back to that just to clarify, right? Like, non-commissionable plans and SARs, service areas reductions, are not the same thing. We're not talking about the same thing. And, service area reduction, we're talking about probably 2 million people are going to have their plans terminated, not non-commissioned, terminated. And so if there's 68 million Medicare beneficiaries in the country, well, you're talking about 3 to 4%, if my head math is correct, maybe almost 5%.
It's like one,
of the
it's
Medicare
like one
population.
out of every 20. Yeah,
Of the
like
Medicare
one out
population.
of every 20. 1 out of every 20 Medicare Advantage. So think about that from a numbers point of view, right? If you're talking to 20 seniors, and obviously depending on your region, it could be a lot more or a lot less. But nationally, just based on the numbers we're talking about here, 1 out of every 20 seniors is going to have a terminated plan where they will have a guaranteed issue period where they can get into a Med Supp.
Right.
Again, nothing to do with non-commissionable plans. Almost every single non-commissionable plan that I have seen, they're still going to be paying renewals if it's an existing client. And if the plan's already good for your client, why would you help them move into something else anyways?
Right. Just kind of a waste of everybody's time.
Yes.
In my opinion, there is a lot of people that think that non-commissionable plans means there's not renewals paid. And there might be a couple, like I said, smaller regional carriers where that's the case. I would change my tune if that if that was the case for you. But for the vast majority of agents, it's not the case. The renewals will still be paid. Like, we have plans for us in our book of business that are going non-commissionable. You know what we're going to do with them? Nothing. Nothing, because their plans are still fine.
Should we rewrite them into a non-commissionable plan?
No, none of that. So I think it's just, one thing I would encourage you guys, it's very important to understand kind of the ins and outs of what's really happening on this non-commissionable front. And like Glenn said at the beginning of this episode, go back and watch episode 158. We got into all the weeds onto this.
Yes.
And broke it down. But yeah, I mean, Med Supp, guys, no matter what's happening, Med Supp is there for you. And Med Supp can be a saving grace, you guys. Be a saving grace for some of you this AEP.
Not to mention the other thing too, like we talked about with writing business year round, how a lot of agents just get in and get out during the AEP period. If you want to be able to write business year round, Med Supp is a fantastic way to do it. And if you aren't well versed in Med Supp, this could be a great period of time over October 1st to 31st, Medicare Supplement Awareness Month, where you can really start to become a Medicare Supplement expert in your market, or start to learn more about the carriers and get to the point where outside AEP, now you can feel like, oh, wow, now I can write business year round, right? Turning 65, they're brand new to Medicare, get them into a Medicare Supplement plan. You can also underwrite Med Supp. Typically, I'd say about 3 out of every 4 seniors. This, again, at Lead Heroes, we've been generating Med Supp leads for over 10 years. The feedback that I've gotten from working with agents who are underwriting these Med Supp plans, I'd say roughly 3 out of 4 seniors could qualify to move to a different Med Supp at any point year round and get a premium reduction. So you become a fucking hero for these seniors, you guys. If Mrs. Jones is paying $400 a month for a Plan F and she's struggling to make that premium payment, but she has to because she needs her Medicare health insurance, and you show up on your white horse, Mrs. Jones, you can switch to a Plan G and save $2,400 a year. And Mrs. Jones is like, what? Are you sure? Yes, I just have to figure out if you can pass these health underwriting questions. She flies through underwriting. You're saving her $2,400. Mrs. Jones is going to fall in love with you.
Picture
Hopefully
yourself
appropriately.
Picture yourself as Arnold in Terminator 2 putting his hand out to Sarah Connor and saying, "Come with me if you want the sup. Come with me if you want the sup." Or you are Reese in the first movie, I don't know the actor's name, telling Sarah Connor, come with me if you want the sup. And Arnold's getting up. Shotgun holes in his chest.
Come with me if you want the sup.
Come with me if you want the sup. We're basically at top of time on this episode of the Seven Figures or Bust podcast. Guys, my final thoughts are, man, guys, Med Supp. Was the funeral fake? No. The funeral is on the horizon, but you can do something about it. You can save the Supps by placing a good Med Supp in a home. That's going to be our messaging. Let's find homes for these beautiful Med Supps. Beautiful Supps. And let's get on board for Med Supp Awareness Month. Those are my final thoughts.
Getting these dogs adopted. We got a Plan G here. Physicians Mutual Plan G. Really looking for a good home.
In the arms of the angel. I need an AI with like the letters, and the letters have like big like puppy dog eyes. Fly away.
This Plan G could be somebody's good best friend. Last question I want to field here from the comments, and I'll mention my final thoughts. John says he's brand new to this. How do I identify terminated plans in my area?
So what I would do is I would ask your upline if they can provide you a SARS list. And some of them can for bigger carriers. And then check for your specific area, check for specific plan codes that are available right now. that are on that list, and that's probably going to be your best way.
Boom. There you go, John. Helping agents out every single episode. Guys, final thoughts on today's episode. I can't help but think that Medicare Supplement has never been as attractive now. I mean, the irony is we had talked about how Medicare Advantage has gone through periods of chaos like this previously. You know, early on in my career, you know, in 2012, it was similar to what we're seeing now. A lot of plans getting canceled, a lot of plans pulling out of areas, out of counties, out of states. And at the time, you know, the producers that I worked with, that was really their whole pitch, is like, look how unstable Medicare Advantage is. You really want a Medicare Advantage plan? Get a Medicare Supplement plan. And these producers would be selling 80 or 90% Med Supp all the time, whether it was AEP or outside AEP. So if you are really concerned about what's going on and you're trying to figure out what to do, Medicare Supplement is a fantastic option. Historically, it's been an option, and right now more than ever, it's still an option. It's still there. So a lot more information to come on this. Medicare Supplement Awareness Month, October 1st to the 31st, all month long. Stay tuned. We'll have a lot more information. But get ready to have a killer AEP. We are less than a week from October 1st. Regardless of the market that you're planning on offering Medicare plans in, it should be a killer AEP, no matter what's going on. And that's our goal here with the 7 Figures or Bust podcast. We want to help you guys have a killer AEP, no matter what. Those are my final thoughts.
Agreed and well said. In the arms of the angels. Watch out on the horizon for Medicare Supplement Awareness Month. Guys, that brings us to the end of episode 159. We certainly appreciate you guys watching all the way to the end. Regardless of the platform you choose to listen to the show on, whether it's live, whether it's on the pre-recorded, whether it's video, whether it's audio, we certainly appreciate your support. Make sure to give us a like, a comment, a subscribe, a 5-star review, whatever the platform of your choice will allow you to do. We certainly appreciate the support. And we'll see you guys next time on another episode. Here's to your massive success, and save the subs.
Save the Supps.